Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Miel Hebraica, Hebrew Honey, and I'm continuing my studying with Psalm 139, verses 11 and 12. These two verses have a tremendous, very interesting contrast between darkness and light. Hoshek be'or, so light and darkness are in great contrast. Remember that in darkness often is associated with trying to hide things from the Lord, trying to cover things up under the cover of darkness. And light, of course, is something God makes. Vayomer Elohim Yehi Or, God said, let there be light. In other words, light is the very first thing God created. So light comes from God. Darkness is an absence of light. But this psalm is a very, very interesting portion here as to what light and darkness appear like before the Lord. So actually, the very same thing the Lord can see just as well in the light as he can see in the darkness, and just as well in the darkness as he can see in the light. So knowing that, if we want to cover our sins or cover our lives with darkness, it isn't going to happen. So let's take a look at what the Psalm 139 says about how darkness functions before the Lord, how light also functions before the Lord. So let's go to it. Va Omar ach hoshek yeshunfeini velayla or be'adeini. And I said, this is Omar is the root of the verb root here is aleph mem resh, but this particular verb does have the characteristic of being able to use the same aleph in the front of the root as the first person as well. So this aleph is doing double duty here in terms of being I and also saying. Okay, if I am saying Omar saying ak, certainly, surely. Ak is sort of an exclamation. Surely, Hoshek. Okay, Hoshek. Hoshek almost always is Miel. Accent to the front here. We have a Muna here showing Hoshek. Incidentally, this is one of the key words of the entire two verses that we're looking at here. And we're going to see it in a noun form and also in a verbal form, and also somewhat as like a title. So we have Hoshek here, and then we have Hoshek there, and then we have Yehashik. This is the verbal form of it, and then this is also then darkness, Hosheka. Okay, when you often when you take a noun and then convert the noun into a feminine form, this is a feminine ending here, Hosheka. Then it goes from the dark to the darkness. Okay, it becomes dark. You see that with Adam, Adama. Quite often, this is how it works. And the very same thing is happening here with or, kaor, kaora. So you'll have or here as light, and then you'll have yair as shining like the light, and then you have the light. Okay, so the light, lightness or light. Va Omar, and I would say ak, hoshek, certainly the darkness. Yeshafeini. Shafeini is shafan is to hide something. We saw this verb in our study of Rahab when she hid the spies underneath the linen stalks up on her roof, and we saw shafeini also when Moses hid the body of the Egyptian in the sand. So shafah is to stick it into something, hide it. Okay, and so here the psalmist or David is saying, and then I might say, Omar, ak, certainly, hoshek, darkness, yeshafeini. Now, this would be true if we're dealing with men or human beings who don't have the greatest ability to see in the darkness. But when it comes to the good Lord, it's not true at all. Darkness really is not an obstacle to him at all. And so Vamar ak hoshek yeshfuni would hide me. I've done something evil, done something with Bathsheba. Okay, wow. The darkness, I'll get away with it by doing it in the dark. It doesn't work. You can't hide from the Lord in the darkness because it's to him the darkness is just like the light of day. So Mamar ak hoshek yeshafuni velayla, and the light. Okay, the night. Okay, velayla or beadeni is as light around me. Okay, around me. So to the Lord, the darkness really doesn't make any difference. It's the night doesn't make any difference. The night shines very brightly. In recent years, they've invented night vision goggles, and the eyes of the Lord are night vision goggles. They can see very clearly, even though it is the night. Okay, Laila. Laila or is as light. Be ba'adeni, around me. Gam hoshek, and also the darkness. Lo yehasik, will not be darkness. Okay, so then you have the verbal form of, here's hoshek, the noun, of course, hoshek, darkness. It will not be dark. Hasik. Memecha, compared to you, from you, to you. Okay, so we often will see a series of prepositions all stuck together. Might be comparative, but also as it corresponds to you. Mimeche. Mimeche comes from you. Mimeche. And this, the antecedent or the reference of this second person pronoun here is the Lord, okay? And compared to you, coming from you, this you right here, this comments is this you right here, and that is in reference to Jehovah. That was established already, right from the start of the psalm, that David is talking to Jehovah. So Mimecha, compared to you. Laila, and the night. Okay, good. Same thing again here. Laila. There's also verbal forms of this, but it isn't in this particular passage. But here, Laila, the night, Kayom, as the day. Okay, notice that there's a patan right here, so this makes it a definite noun here, as like the day, as the day. Ya'ir, okay, shines up. So here, darkens down, shines up. You get a prefix form of the yod here, it darkens down, it shines up. So these are prefix forms of the verb here, and then these are the verbs to darken and to be dark, and then to be light. So the night as the day, it will be light. Ke, ka, hashika, so that you have again, you get chet, shin, kaf, and then this time when you add the feminine ending, that makes it the darkness. Okay, dark and darkness. Okay, hashika, as, and so it's this. This is a comparative kaf here, the preposition, as darkness, ka ora, as light. Okay, as darkness, as light. Ka ora. Okay, ka hashika. Okay, ka hashika, ka ora. And what the psalmist is saying right here, as darkness, as light. And why would he say this? Because when we're speaking about the Lord, it's all the same thing. Whether it's dark or whether it's light, it's all the same to him. As and as. Okay. This is enough just to establish this kind of comparison or affirmation that to the Lord, both of these things are the same thing. So ka hashika, ka ora. Very beautiful meditation here as to, and especially David. There probably were times in his life when he would like to hide things under darkness and thought he'd maybe get away with it. When he thought he was getting away with it, the prophet Nathan showed up. Guess what? I have a story for you. And prophet Nathan, of course, condemned David very strongly for what he had done to Uriah and what he'd done also to Bathsheba. And so David found out soon enough, you really can't hide things from the Lord. A concept that we also should carry in our hearts. We can't hide things from the Lord. Uh, I've often noticed in the world that those who want to do evil things, drinking, carousing, partying, uh, bad things, sinful things, like to do them under cover of darkness. They think, I can get away with it if nobody sees me. Guess what? The good Lord sees you. The good Lord is very attentive as to what you're doing, and this really should be an incentive to us to do the right thing, because the Lord has His eye on us, and we know we will answer to the Lord for our actions, and we can't expect the darkness to cover anything up, because to the Lord, darkness and the day and night, darkness and light, it's all the same thing. He can see he has very acute vision, whether when we might not, but the Lord most certainly can see us, what we're doing and what's in our hearts even, and so it really is an instruction to us to do things that knowing very clearly that God sees what we are doing, and we can't hide it. So best be doing those things that we don't really don't have to hide. Best doing those things that are God's will, and because we know that the good Lord will see what we're up to, and the Lord most certainly knows exactly what you and I are doing. So kindly follow the path of the Lord, follow His ways, follow His word, and be faithful and honest with Him. This is one of the very first steps of being faithful in service, to be honest to the Lord and honest with yourself in what you are doing, because we know very clearly here, as David states, the Lord can see very clearly everything that we're doing. So God bless, and God keep you, and God give you wisdom as you live out your life before Him. Until the next time.